A woman sexually assaulted at knife point walking to her apartment. Tonight, neighbors are talking to 12 about how unsafe they feel at home.
And veterans forced to wait years to get their benefits. Some died waiting. Tonight, a whistleblower is speaking out.
News 12 at 11 in high definition starts now.
Good evening, I'm Richard Rogers.
And I'm Meredith Anderson. Changes are coming to an Augusta apartment complex after a woman was attacked on the way to her own door.
This happened around 10 o'clock last night at the Madison on the Green apartments near Washington Road and Alexander Drive. Deputies say the attacker held the woman at knife point and forced her to perform sexual acts. Tonight, News 12's Christy Etheridge spoke with neighbors who are concerned for their own safety.
It happened under the cover of darkness, but it's a crime seared in the victim's memory for the rest of her life. Last night, as she walked from her car to her front door, a woman was attacked from behind, held at knife point, and forced to perform sexual acts.
How does that make you feel as a woman being alone?
Makes me feel very uncomfortable and really unsafe.
Charlene Gainey was just getting home from work when she noticed this stuck on her front door. A message from Madison on the Green warning them about the assault.
I can't even imagine. I know that just had to be horrific.
The letter says the complex is requesting more police presence on the property, something Gainey says the complex needs.
I've seen a police car. They usually have one parked around the corner, but I've never actually seen the police ever.
As word spreads through the complex with the suspect still on the loose, neighbors wonder how safe they really are.
I don't feel comfortable knowing that something like that happened out here.
I love my family, and I would hate anything to happen to them.
Jerry Reed also lives at Madison on the Green and has a fiance and 2 little ones to protect.
I don't let her go outside by herself. I don't let the kids go outside by themselves. Always under supervision, and I never let her walk alone.
And while the victim was able to break away from her attacker to call 911, Gainey says she's ready to break her lease before something else happens.
It just really makes me nervous and really want to hurry up and look at some other options of moving out of the area.
Right now, deputies only have a vague description of the suspect. He's a black male, 6 feet tall, about 170 pounds. He also has shoulder-length dreads. He was wearing red gym shorts and a white t-shirt at the time. So if you saw anything last night, Richmond County investigators want to know.
Talking weather now, here's a live look outside on Walton Way at 15th Street. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Shane Butler to see what to expect tomorrow. And Shane, okay, we know it's going to be hot, but hopefully we'll get some rain. We could use it.
Yeah, I think we got a decent chance for seeing some showers and storms out there tomorrow with a frontal boundary approaching the area, so that'll be good for us. Take a look at it. This is Wheeler Road at our live eye cam at this hour. It looks like the moon right there, maybe off in the eastern sky. So that's kind of nice for us tonight out there. Skies are partly cloudy. Some of you still seeing a few showers or storms across the area. Temperature wise, slow cool down. Not cool at all. We're still at 82 at this hour. Dew points low 70s. It is quite humid out there tonight with a southwest wind at around 7 miles per hour. Doppler Max radar scanning across the area. Got 2 areas watching some rain here. Southern half of Wilkes County, then it heads right on through Warren County, you head right into Glasscock, and then more off toward the east from Barnwell in toward Bamberg County. This is all kind of moving from the west toward the east, maybe a little bit of a northeast jog to that. Some lightning embedded in that, some heavier rain in some spots, so that's good news. We get a little bit of that tonight area-wide as we head through the day tomorrow, so that's kind of what we're looking at tonight. Tomorrow, 89 at noontime, scattered showers and storms. I've got us yellow for disruptive weather. I think we're going to have some of those storms out there. Some could be strong at times, producing heavy rain, lightning, and gusty winds. We'll take a closer look coming up in just a little bit. Meredith.
Thank you, Shane. New information tonight in the VA scandal. An oversight hearing this evening looking into the VA's progress in cutting down on backlogs. This as an internal watchdog group says the rush to cut wait times might have resulted in veterans receiving benefits they're not supposed to. A report says tens of thousands of veterans are improperly getting benefits, on track to total about $371 million over the next 5 years. Kristen Ruel is a whistleblower who handles compensation claims. In testimony to Congress, she says thousands of vets who reportedly waited for weeks for disability benefits might have actually waited for years.
It didn't matter in our office how old the claim was. They didn't want any claims older than a certain date, so they would put a memo on the claims so that the claims looked new. Some of the veterans have died waiting for their claim to be processed, and if it has a newer data claim, it's not a priority.
The VA says its backlog reached about 611,000 in 2010, but it's been cut to around 275,000. In an audit, all 3 Georgia VA facilities were flagged for further review, including Augusta's. News 12 also uncovered 3 veteran deaths caused by lapse in care at the Charlie Norwood VA.
The director of Richmond County Animal Services, Sharon Brody, says she's been getting death threats. This comes after animal lovers called commissioners asking for her to be fired. Tomorrow, commissioners are set to vote on a plan aimed at keeping more dogs and cats alive. Rescue groups say one of the problems is that Richmond County is not working with them.
I think it's sad that this is the only county that I can't get unaltered dogs from. And I don't even sign. I work with Americus, Georgia. I work with Columbia County.
The city of Augusta has been working to hire a full-time vet, but so far only one person has applied, and we're told that person does not have the qualifications.
From the crime team, Columbia County deputies need your help identifying 4 suspects involved in an overnight shooting. You are looking at surveillance video before that shooting happened. This is around midnight or so at the Westwood Club Apartments. Deputies say Jamal Fielding was sitting on a park bench when the suspects tried to rob him. They believe the person wearing the hat in this surveillance video was the one who shot Fielding in the thigh.
A lot of questions tonight after a child is apparently left in a car over the weekend. The man who says he found the toddler locked in a hot car says the child was drenched in sweat when he pulled him out. The boy is okay, but Nick Ortolaza says he was shocked when he saw the baby's father walking away, toddler in hand.
Where's the accountability? Well, you know, who's going to follow up to see if this kid is in a situation where maybe he's being put in these, these dangerous situations over and over and over again, or was it a mistake, and will that father learn from this? Is he capable of learning? We don't know.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office says when they got to the scene, the child was already out of the car. They say they're reviewing whether the call was handled properly and re-interviewing people as they decide what to do next.
Another safety concern for your child, making sure they're strapped in. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office ticketed 94 people for safety seat violations in just the past 2 weeks. Last year, there were more than 1,500 citations in the county. So far this year, up to this point, we are looking at almost 700. Deputies say you have to make sure the child safety seat is installed properly and that it is not expired. If you have been in an accident with it, deputies say it is no longer safe.
From the health team tonight, federal health officials taking another look at the CDC lab in Atlanta, and they found some more safety problems. The investigation comes after the anthrax scare there just last month.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture releasing a report today saying some of the exposed lab workers were not examined for 5 days. It also says they used expired disinfectants to clean up and transfer dangerous germs in Ziploc bags. Also from the health team tonight, the CDC looking into water being the possible source of bacteria that affected more than a dozen patients at a South Carolina hospital. Officials at the Greenville Hospital say the infection might even be linked to 3 patients' deaths. The CDC says the bacteria are usually found in soil and dust. The hospital originally thought a piece of equipment was the source of infection.
Police now say there was no crime when a Georgia baby was found crawling on the side of a highway. Charges against Timothy and Molly Pickens have been dropped. The couple told police they were in their backyard when they left their 1-year-old daughter inside with their other children, who are 13, 9, and 5. The baby picked up by a driver who saw her crawling near that road nearby. Federal investigators are looking into what happened in a plane crash that killed 2 people in western Georgia. The NTSB says the wreckage was spread in an area about 100 feet long and 50 feet wide. They say that the plane hit a tree, causing the engine and propeller to fly off. Tomorrow, investigators will be looking at the plane's flight controls and engine.
We're on your side tonight with an update if you want a job at the new Whole Foods store. Organizers say all Q&A sessions scheduled for tomorrow are booked. You can still apply for a job, though. We have a link to the application on our website, WRDW.com. Just click on the Find It button. The store is looking to hire 120 to about 150 people before it opens at the Washington Crossing Shopping Center coming up this fall.
That is a huge project taking shape.
It is, absolutely.
Well, coming up on News 12 at 11, some possible movement tonight in the Middle East. Egypt offering up a plan to end the most recent violence between Israel and Palestinians.
Plus, some high school athletes are trying out new technology to detect concussions. These test helmets are equipped with brain sensors.
And around here, weather headlines, we've got a front approaching tomorrow. It's going to kick off some showers and storms out ahead of it. Some could be strong. After it passes, a little milder air for a few nights. I'll show you coming up.
You're watching News 12 at 11 o'clock in high definition with Richard Rogers, Meredith Anderson, Chief Meteorologist Shane Butler, and Kevin Feigl, Sports.
Thank you, Shane. From the health team tonight, some football players in Indiana are trying out helmets that could help spot concussions in athletes. Almost 100 helmets being used in this year's high school all-star game have brain sensors. The student athletes are wearing them in practice and during the game. A red light means they've taken a big hit, so the coach knows to pull those kids to the sideline and check them out.
Also from the health team tonight, school leaders from all over the country in Boston today trying to find food that's healthy that kids will actually eat. At the convention, they were trying things like bean burgers and peanut butter substitutes, all foods that will qualify under new nutritional standards taking effect this fall.
They can start by not calling them bean burgers right off
Yes,
the top.
or peanut butter substitute.
What?
Yeah.
Well, just have a taste test and let it go at that.
Right.
Don't name them.
No.
Coming up, it's a $7 billion settlement between the government and one of the nation's largest banks. We're on your side with what that means for homeowners.
Plus, marriage on the go, how some couples in Las Vegas are saying their vows quickly and for cheap.
Possible progress tonight after more than a week of fighting between Israel and Palestinians in Gaza. Egypt pushing for a ceasefire, and as Alfonso Van Marsh tells us, it's also introducing plans for a face-to-face talks between those two groups.
Gaza smoldered overnight as fresh Israeli airstrikes left more suspected Hamas targets in ruins. But a drop in the number of attacks hints that both sides may be ready to talk truce. Gaza officials say 185 Palestinians have died in the week of fighting and more than 1,000 were hurt. The Israeli death toll is 0. But what is a life and death reality for some is theater for others. Along the Israeli border with Gaza, a crowd gathers to watch Israeli airstrikes as if they were at the movies. This man says, yeah, we came to watch. There were no cafes open. For how long can we sit in the bomb shelters? We're not here to disrespect the Gazans.
There are some Israelis who say that evening viewing parties like these are dangerous and inappropriate.
These young men make no apologies. This man says, when America went after bin Laden, if you had to destroy or evacuate a village, the Americans would enjoy the destruction. For us, each one who fires a rocket from Gaza is a little bin Laden. People on the Hill say as long as the strikes go on, they'll continue to watch. Alfonso Van Marsh, CBS News, Sderot, Israel.
Israel is expected to discuss the possible ceasefire tomorrow. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is also heading to that area.
Sergeant Bo Bergdahl is back on the job after being held for 5 years by the Taliban. The Army has given him a desk job after he finished his therapy and counseling. Now Army investigators are preparing to question Bergdahl about his disappearance. He's also already been asked about any information he might have learned while in the Taliban's prison.
The government is settling with Citigroup, one of the banks they say helped cause the financial crisis in 2008. The $7 billion settlement comes after the bank admitted to selling faulty mortgage-backed securities to mutual funds, pensions, and other investors. Citigroup will pay $2.5 billion of that settlement to consumers, but experts say in a lot of cases, it's too late.
So many people have lost their homes already or had to make terrible decisions about invading their retirement accounts to pay their bills that I think this is a little bit of a drop in the bucket, and it's certainly well later than most people needed help.
But some homeowners with city mortgages could have their loans cut or have their interest rates reduced.
Eloping is a pretty fast way to get married, right? But in Las Vegas, weddings just got a whole lot quicker. Check this out. There is a mobile service in Vegas. It's, I guess, kind of like a food truck for marriage. It pulls right up and you can exchange vows quickly without paying tons of money. It's called the Wedding Wagon.
We started planning a wedding and then it was too much stress. So we thought about just eloping, and I went on the internet and found this and I was like, that's awesome. Let's just do that and make it just about us.
The Wedding Wagon co-owners say they'd like to expand, and they're considering Phoenix, Arizona as their next location.
Just the convenience of a wedding right there on wheels, huh?
There you go.
Call them and they'll come
A lot
right
of people
over.
are jumping on the bandwagon, literally.
Only in Vegas and spreading.